everybody, it's me again. I'm gonna talk to you about a golden era slasher movie from 1981, directed by Jeff Lieberman, Just Before Dawn. Now, this movie opens with a really cool shot of a mountain with trees and a sun coming up, an orange colored sun, and this weird whistling sound that I can't whistle, but it's eerie and beautiful at the same time. We go to a decrepit church, and two hunters, with the orange vests and the army fatigues, are drunk and doing stupid things. And one of them is Mike Callum, and he plays the camp owner from Sleepaway Camp. The ugly dude. He thinks Angela's brother is the killer, and he's ruining him and in his camp and things like that. He's an ugly dude. He's one of the two hunters. Now they have this machete with serrations on the side, a cool looking machete. Then he sees a crack in the ceiling. We immediately get introduced to the killers. Two hulky dudes with a cap on their head, and one of them is looking through the hole of the roof and is doing like this. They can't talk. They're retarded, basically. Another one is in the church, standing in front of the dude with the machete, takes the machete, stabs him in the dick, and it comes out of his ass. And I thought, oh, it's gonna be that kind of movie, right? It's gonna be a gory movie. Wrong. It's not that gory. We go back. The other guy escapes. The camp owner of Sleepaway Camp escapes, Mike Kellum. And eventually, 5 people in an RV bought a piece of land there, and they wanted to scope the land out. One of them, you've got Jonathan and Megan, who's a couple, Connie or Constance, and Warren, who's a couple. And you also have got Daniel, who's played by Ralph Seymour, who's also in Killer Party from 1986. I also reviewed that movie. It's a great slasher movie. It's actually a slasher comedy, but I think it's more of a horror movie than a comedy. He also plays in, Meatballs, Fletch, in NYPD Blue is in, The Relic, that movie, with the museum with the monster, a really good movie. I'm gonna review that one too. And also they come across the forest ranger, park ranger Roy, played by George Kennedy. We also know him from a lot of horror movies and non-horror movies. I mean, I can't just name one on the top of my head, but he's a known figure. He's an old timer who's in the business for a long time. So, but he warns them not to go up there because it's more beautiful here, he says, because if you go up, it's dangerous mountains, waterfalls, thick forest. They don't listen. They are going anyway, like always. And at some point, you see one of the retarded brothers, basically. They're all apparently called Luther and Lucas. One jumps on the RV, and the RV wiggles, and what the hell was that? It probably hit a tree or something, a branch, and he's on top of the RV. So they're already in there. They already honed in on them. the kills are really tame. You know, Daniel, you know, Ralph Seymour, he eventually, you know, first of all, you get this scene, which is cool. It's more about the atmosphere and the soundtrack and the isolated area that's creepy. Because they are hiking and they find this little house with people living there, an old man and his wife and his daughter, and apparently two sons, inbred family. So that's the reason why these two sons are a little bit retarded and they are just fucked up in the head. They can't even speak. They always do like this. And he has a gun and says, "Get the hell away. You don't want to be here." He basically says, "It's dangerous, get the hell away." And then the other said, "We bought this place, bought this ground, we own your house." And he said, "Nobody owns my house. I've been here for such a long time." And eventually he goes back in the house, they go away, they argue, and the little girl actually helps them. She's curious. She comes to the two women in the group. They're having makeup on, and they give her a makeup box. She puts makeup on, and you know it's funny looking because she looks like a clown because she doesn't know how to put it on, you know, and Jonathan goes for a small hike and he finds a girl, but then she runs away. She's trying to help them by saying, "Go away, they're coming, they're this and that." But she says it, I think she said it too, "Go away, they're coming, this and that." Doesn't. He's on this bridge, you know, or a tightrope bridge, and of course, he sees the hulking brother on the other side. He wants to go back. Another one's on the other side. Chops off the bridge. He falls against the wall of the concrete, the wall of the mountain. He tries to climb up, and then eventually he just gets boot in his face and pushed off and drops in the wild water of the waterfall, and that's how he dies. He probably hits his head or something. But there's this scene where his girlfriend is in the water, and you see one of the birds is jumping in the water and he's touching her leg, and she's like, "Whoa!" But he can't. The thing is, how long that fucker can be in the water? How long can a guy breathe underwater? It's weird. So it was one of the brothers jerking on her leg. Then he's gone. Then eventually they don't know where Jonathan is, but Megan decides to go with Daniel for a photo shoot, and they're at that church again. And eventually they get attacked, of course, by the two brothers. Daniel gets the machete through his gut. And apparently, when he got the machete to his gut, the camera flew against his face and back. And the pain in his face, you see, is real because that was from the camera that he blasted in the face. So, and I believe Megan is killed off screen. You never know what happened to her. She's killed off screen. So, like I said, there's not a huge body count because now nobody dies after this. But the two brothers, of course, the bad. So, Mike Kellen comes to Park Ranger Roy. He says there's kids down there. He knows, and he goes back after them with a horse and a rifle. At some point, you know, Connie's sort of the subdued girl, the prude girl, and Warren is like the man's man. But eventually, what happens is Warren gets injured and Connie tries to run away. What happens is, I think the little girl tries to help them. So these are spoilers, obviously, right? So, and Ranger Roy shoots one of the brothers through the head, gone, and he's going back. He's going back for something, and he's going to come back with ambulances, and they're at their camp. Well, we do know that there's a second one out there, and this is a spoiler, of course. Warren is like crying, is being a bitch, and it's super weird. She comes out of the tent, fully with makeup, a sexy look. She put a rope on her t-shirt with her belly naked and these short pants. She looks really sexy, like, but she knows she's like, I'm gonna handle these things from now. I'm gonna be the boss. Then, of course, the other guy, one of the brothers, Luther or Lucas, I'm not sure which one of them, attacks them. Warren is like, sitting in the corner, and basically Connie is fighting him off, but of course the guy is super strong, but she fights him off. She slams him with a wooden stick. Warren is still sitting in the corner like a little bitch, and eventually the the brother wants to squeeze her till she suffocates, but then she does something that I never seen in any other horror movie or slasher movie. Because the guy had a big head, she hits him in the mouth, goes completely in the mouth, and I'm saying until here, right? So very deep in his mouth. So she could have ripped out his heart, his lungs, and he suffocates because she's completely in his mouth, and then she pulls it out, bloodied arm, and he died. That's a kill that I never seen. It's a gory kill too, but it's a weird kill. I never seen that happening in any movie. And if you know that if another movie did that, you can put it in the comment section, because I never heard about. So, I mean, and she's like still keeping a brave face, and Warren's like, oh, thank you. Oh. Yeah, it's a complete metamorphosis. She's becoming the woman's woman, and he's the bitchy man. Jesus. Okay, so this movie is actually really good. It's really good. Doesn't have a big body count, but it's not about the body count. It's about the creepy twins that sound they are making. That soundtrack with that. It's like whistling sound. I can't whistle, sorry. And then the vast trees and the shots, and it's more the atmosphere. It's more of an atmospheric movie, and and there is a final guy, but the final girl, who's actually really prude and is sort of always talked down. She when she wants to do something, he says, "No, I'll do it like that." Warren, the bitch at the end, he eventually, wants to take care of everything, but she does at the end. She kills the last brother, the retarded brother. That's because they learn about them, because they go back to the couple, with the gun, and he says, that's Luther and Lucas out there. You should be watching out. I don't have control over them, and you should get the hell out. And that's what he said in the beginning too, and that's also what Park Ranger Roy said. He probably knew there was a family out there. He came across the girl too, and he knew the girl. I mean, yeah, so they were warned multiple times. But it's a good movie, it's a good slasher movie. Not a big body count, some gore, but not a lot. A really cool kill at the end with a fist through the mouth. Never seen that before. So deep, really this deep. Also, I've put the link of the movie in the description. You can see it for free on Dailymotion, but it's part 1 and part 2, so you have 2 links, right? Part 1 is the longest, and part 2 is the shortest, being like 50 minutes, and the part 1 is like an hour or something. So if you're done with part 1, you just click on the link, and you just look at Google, put it in Google, and you'll find part 2 in the search engine of Google. So you get the free movie. I try to give free movies if they're available on open channels, so you don't have to be a pirate and do piracy and downloading torrent movies. No, these are just available free on YouTube, Dailymotion, and all these channels. So yeah, I'll put the link in the description, so you can, if you've never seen the movie, I give it a 7. I give it a 6.9 out of 10, which isn't bad for a slasher movie. I gave the Night of the Living Dead 7. Those are good scores. So in my opinion, they're good scores, especially for a slasher movie from 1981. And the acting is good in this movie. Also, the acting is good in the Metamorphosis, with Connie being the badass, which is a cool twist. It's pretty good movie. So give it a watch, and see you next time. Bye bye. Oh.